FEMA says it accidentally overpaid hundreds of victims of a flood last year in Colorado, and now the agency is demanding that money back. But the people who got those FEMA checks say they needed the help getting back on their feet. Adam Housley is live in Los Angeles with this. Adam, what went wrong here?
Well, you know, Molly, one of the issues is potentially the duplication of funds. And generally what happens is FEMA can't pay what insurance covers. So in this case, there's also a lot of political pressure when you have a disaster like what happened in Colorado to get people funded as quickly as possible.
It's impacted more than 2,000 square miles with an estimated $2 billion in property losses. At the time, the victims frequently urged to seek help.
FEMA assistance is not guaranteed. However, if you don't register, it's guaranteed you won't get assistance.
More than a year after the Colorado flood, letters have arrived from the Federal Emergency Management Agency demanding payback. But the long-term flood recovery group for Boulder County is still getting new cases from the flood, including people who need help understanding the letters.
It's coming at a time where people are still recovering, they're traumatized, and then they get a letter like this and they're re-traumatized, and it's particularly difficult during the holiday season.
FEMA offered a statement saying in part, quote, federal law requires FEMA and other federal agencies to recover improper payments. A total of 249 survivors have received a recoupment letter from FEMA, which represents only 1.5%. As former head of FEMA, Michael Brown explains, it's a no-win situation.
So the very same congressman that put pressure on FEMA to get money out the door as fast as possible will be the same people who will then criticize FEMA and rake them over the coals for wasting taxpayer money.
There is an appeals process, but for a lot of the victims here, the appeal, at least the deadline for that, is later this week. Now, some owe as little as a couple $100, and some owe as much as $20,000. So $200 to $20,000. Big discrepancy there, Molly, and a lot of people are going to have to figure this out by the end of the week. At least that's when the deadline is right now.
Wow, Molly. Incredible. And here in the midst of the holidays, they've got to figure it out as well. Thank you, Adam.
Absolutely.